How's it going, everybody? Welcome in to another episode of the Mavs Step Back Podcast. I'm your host, Dalton Trigg. I'm joined with my co-host, Drew Johnson. You can find both of us on X. You can find myself at Dalton_Trigg. You can find my guy, DJ, at CoachDrew33. DJ, that was a very scrappy first Summer League game. The Mavs, they took on a very talented, very gritty Utah Jazz team that shot nearly 50% from the field, over 40% from three. The Mavs, they were up big early. They had a double-digit lead. They gave it up. The Utah Jazz stormed in front in the fourth quarter. And then with 2.1 seconds remaining, Melvin Ajinca, the Mavs' new rookie, the number 51 pick in the 2024 NBA draft, was called for a foul on Utah's Kenny Lofton Jr. Jared Dudley challenged the call. It was not successful. The Mavs lost a timeout, and they ultimately lost the game 90-81. So, DJ, I'll get into my observations from this first game, but what did you think right off the bat watching that Mavs Summer League game?
Well, I think what honestly kept us in the game for the most part was our commitment to defense and our aggression on that end of the floor, and just our determination to create extra possessions for ourselves, because we did not shoot the ball well tonight, and in fact we couldn't buy a bucket. Most notably, Omax, Prosper struggled. Ajinca, he kind of came alive a little bit in the second half,
yes.
But overall he struggled as well. But in these Summer League games with not a whole lot at stake, we really want to look at the positives that we saw too, and I thought that Ajinca was a major positive with his energy on both ends of the floor. He wasn't able to get anything to go, but he was able to get to his spots pretty much anytime he wanted to. He was able to create his own shot off the dribble, and he showed great energy on the defensive end. So those are things that will carry over, and you got to believe that eventually his shot is going to start falling. It isn't like he wasn't getting good looks. In fact, everything looked perfect except the end result, oftentimes. And so I think that we can take that and take some encouragement away from that.
Yeah, and look, one thing about Omax that I like, and I know he didn't shoot the ball well and everything, but he got to the line 8 times. So he was being aggressive. He was getting fouled. I thought he got fouled on a 3 in that fourth quarter that could have been a pivotal play, for the Mavs. But I love the aggression, and not just from Omax, from Melvin Ajinca. He struggled in the first half, and it was funny. We caught up with Sean Sweeney, the Mavs assistant coach. He plays a big part in Jason Kidd's. Everybody says Jason Kidd's defense. Sean Sweeney's a big part of that, and he was in the running for the Detroit Pistons head coaching job. Ended up staying with the Mavs, which is a good thing for us.
Yeah.
And we were talking to him after the game, and he said, look, Melvin Ajinca is just killing it shooting the ball in practice. And that didn't translate in the first part of the first Summer League game for the Mavs against the Jazz. But he really picked it up in the second half. And one thing I liked, even though the shots weren't falling in the first half, for a 20-year-old rookie in his situation, coming overseas and playing against, it's Summer League, but it's still NBA competition.
Yeah. And those were a lot of first-round picks on the other end as well.
Yeah,
so,
very talented.
He was playing against a lot of solid competition.
But I love that he had the mental fortitude to just keep pushing through. Instead of getting down on himself, he has a high level of confidence. Mm-hmm. And that really shone through. It was shown through in the second half, because he had a much better second half, and he ended up with 13 points, shot 5 of 13 overall, only hit 1 of his 5 threes. But according to what Sean Sweeney was telling us after the game, we expect that to pick up, as Summer League progresses here. But the biggest thing, DJ, is, and you'll probably agree with this take that I have, but in Summer League, you can't get too caught up in the counting stats. Like, it's good to see guys be efficient and hit shots and all that good stuff, but I look at body language. I look at, how comfortable those guys look out on the floor. And that's what I really loved about Melvin Ajinca and A.J. Lawson.
Yeah.
Specifically. Now, Brandon Williams, he was good too, but specifically, just the way A.J. Lawson and Melvin Ajinca play, it's just, they're like Tasmanian devils. They never stop. High energy when the game starts through when the game ends. I made the observation during the game, I was like, man, Melvin Ajinca, the way he moved, like aesthetically, he reminds me of Avery Bradley.
Yeah.
a taller Avery Bradley.
Much taller, yeah.
But that's how he plays, just
Yeah.
endless energy all over the place. And that's what you like to see from young players. That's what will give him a chance, now it's not going to happen anytime soon, but that will give him a chance to compete when it comes training camp time. And you never know. It's a long season. There's injuries stacking up. Maybe the Mavs can have a contributor at the end of the bench with that number 51 pick they got in this year's draft.
Well, let's be real. The guy that we got with the number 51 pick in the draft had first-round upside and first-round aspirations and really first-round predictions. The guys, was it Draft Express who initially predicted him to be a first-round pick?
As early, it was back in April.
And, some would argue that the only reason that he was not a first-round pick in this year's NBA draft is because he got injured before this year's Hoop Summit. And that tanked his stock. It scared away everybody.
Well, and then also you have to think about the high school reclassification stuff too.
Yeah.
Because there was a lot more, it may not have been high-end talent, but just, general role player type talent. You could see a lot more of that in this draft. That's why Nico Harrison, Mavs GM, said he was pleasantly surprised that Melvin Ajinca was still available when the 50 picks came into play. And that's why they made the trade with the Knicks to move up from 58 to 51 and get him. And man, like I said, he struggled shooting the ball in the first half, but he really picked it up. And he looks like a real NBA. He looks like he could be a real NBA player.
Absolutely.
So that's one thing I'm excited about. Some other stuff, it was nice to see, Brandon Williams do his thing. The Mavs recently signed him to a two-way contract. So he's going to be around for a while longer. He'll spend a lot of time with the Texas Legends. He led the Mavs with 21 points and 5 assists, 4 rebounds. So good stuff from him as well. And then the other Mavs in double figures, again, AJ Lawson had 16 points. Ajinca, again, had 13 points. And then Omax had 11 points. So that was your 4 Mavs who scored in double figures. So great first game for the Mavs. I thought, I honestly thought as talented as that Utah Jazz team was with the experience they had too. I didn't think it was going to be as close as it was, but it was a very fun game for a summer league game, and we were kind of praying that there wasn't overtime.
No, really. I mean, it was honestly the Mavs to lose. They had a pretty decent lead in the second half, and what ended up losing us the game was our inability to take care of the ball and our inability to rebound the ball in crucial moments. If our young players can figure out a way to close games that way, and I know that the stakes aren't overly high, but you still want to win, right?
Yeah.
And I think that we're more than capable of doing that with the talent that we have because A, we didn't shoot the ball well, and B, we did not play well down the stretch when we really needed to.
Yeah.
So I think that there's a lot to be hopeful for. There's a lot to be happy about, and I'm really excited to see how this plays out.
Yeah, and look, aside from just the game itself, just the atmosphere has been great.
That was awesome.
This place has, Thomas Mack Center and Cox Pavilion, they're connected, and there's games going on all day, and it's been jam-packed from start to finish. The energy has been great. You got legends walking around. We ran into Andre Iguodala earlier, ran into Mavs legend Gal McHale. If you were around for those years, that was a big Mavs blast from the past. Got to catch up with him. But it's been a great time, and I'm glad we decided to do this. And not like I said, not just the game itself, but getting to see all the people that come. There was a lot of Mavs chemistry stuff going on in this game too, because you had Derek Lively, Najee Marshall, Quentin Grimes, Jaden Hardy, Nico Harrison, and even new owner or president Patrick Dumont.
Yeah, he was down there.
Yeah, they were all sitting together down there.
Full
So
suit.
that was good to see. It's always nice to see. Klay Thompson didn't show up, but we know when it's off-season time, Klay Thompson likes to get on his boat, and you don't see him until training camp starts. So we have seen him training wherever he's at right now in a vintage Dirk Nowitzki Mitchell and Ness jersey. So, that's pretty solid.
Got good taste.
That'll get the fans pumped.
I'll tell you who we have seen in here is Derek Lively. We've actually seen a lot of them in here. In fact, we just missed him earlier this morning.
He's locked in.
Yeah, I mean the guy's committed to getting better. He's been in the lab all summer, and he's going to continue to be in there. So we can expect big things out of him, I think.
Well, guys, it's been fun. This is DallasBasketball.com and Mavs Step Back live from Las Vegas. We've had a great time. Be sure to like, rate, and subscribe on all your favorite podcast platforms. Hit that subscribe button on our YouTube channel. And check out all of our work that we've done over at DallasBasketball.com. We've got a lot of stuff coming as well before we, head back home. But it's been great. It's hot out here, but it's, it's dry heat, so it's not as bad. But if you're out in it long enough, it's still pretty bad. But we've had a great time out here in Vegas. So, guys, be sure to go check out our latest podcast too. Before we recorded this one, we had an exclusive interview with Omax Prosper after Saturday's shoot around. So be sure to go check that out. He gave his thoughts on what he learned the most from his rookie season. He dished on Klay Thompson and him signing with the Mavs and what it could mean for the team. What it was like for him to be on an NBA Finals participant in his first year, and a lot more. So be sure to go over there and check that out. But guys, we appreciate it. We hope you have a great rest of your weekend. Y'all go get some rest and wait for Monday when the Mavs play their second Summer League game. If you're a real basketball sicko, you get real hardcore with this Summer League stuff like we do. So we appreciate it, guys. Y'all have a good one.
Thanks, guys.